sir. 123 positive.
We are also very thankful for the support that Australia has been giving the Philippines in terms of resilience, in terms of people-to-people exchanges, in terms of developmental assistance that Australia has been giving us.
Australia is quietly building 8 military projects across 5 hidden sites in the Philippines, a silent shift that could redraw power lines in the Indo-Pacific. Behind the secrecy lies a deeper mission: to strengthen the AFP, boost joint readiness, and build a frontline deterrent against China's maritime expansion. From Palawan to northern Luzon, a new defensive spine is forming. One designed to watch the Spratlys, guard vital sea lanes, and plug the gaps of Philippine surveillance. The alliance is no longer symbolic. Through radar networks, joint drills, and shared bases, it is becoming operational, practical, and real. But as this partnership grows, China is watching closely, viewing the move as containment, even encirclement, while ASEAN sees the region slowly shifting from neutrality to security realism. These secret sites mark more than construction on Philippine soil. They are part of a quiet strategy to balance power, defend sovereignty, and signal to Beijing that Manila will not stand alone.
Involving more than 3,500 personnel, principally Australian and Filipino personnel, but also including US and Canadian forces. There are about 1,600 Australian personnel who will be participating in this.
The turning point arrived in August 2025, when Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Richard Marles, together with Philippine Defence Secretary Gilberto Teodoro, revealed a major defense initiative that caught the Indo-Pacific by surprise.
In our talks together, we have signed a joint statement of intent, which places in concrete form the way we want our defense partnership to grow and to progress.
In a measured but powerful announcement, the two governments confirmed that 8 military infrastructure projects will be built across 5 undisclosed locations in the Philippines. The scale of the commitment signaled something new. This was no longer routine cooperation or symbolic partnership. It was a concrete investment in Philippine defense capability. According to the joint statement, these projects aim to strengthen the armed forces of the Philippines' military infrastructure, boost interoperability between the two militaries, and enhance readiness under the Philippines' Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, CADC, a doctrine designed to protect key maritime corridors and disputed zones. Both sides were careful to highlight a sovereignty clause. The Philippines maintains full ownership, control, and jurisdiction over all sites, with Australia playing only an assisting and rotational role. Yet what captured public attention most was the secrecy. The exact base locations remain classified, a deliberate decision to prevent Chinese intelligence mapping. Domestic political backlash or sabotage, fueling headlines about mystery and secret sites across the archipelago.
Australian shift maybe a decade or two ago in saying that Australia's future is with Asia has really become a reality, and that's why the closeness between our countries, between Australia and the Philippines, is terribly important.
This development did not emerge out of thin air. The Philippines and Australia have been defense partners since the 1995 Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. But for years, the relationship moved quietly in the background, overshadowed by US-Philippine ties. That is changing. With both countries now facing a more aggressive China, the partnership is being redefined and elevated, paving the path toward a more formal defense cooperation agreement, DCA, expected in 2026. Once signed, the DCA will streamline troop movement, base access, logistics, and real-time coordination, creating a faster, smoother military response mechanism for both sides. What pushed Canberra to accelerate? The Indo-Pacific has changed. Australia, once confident in its strategic distance, has watched Chinese naval pressure move closer to its waters. After Chinese live fire drills near Australia's EEZ, Canberra concluded that deterrence can no longer begin at Australia's shores. It must begin forward, with partners positioned near China's expansion routes. Manila, with its strategic geography and direct exposure to Chinese aggression, became the logical forward partner. Australia's quiet expansion of military projects in the Philippines is driven by overlapping strategic goals that align tightly with Manila's own defense priorities.
Scene one. This is a JP, all right? This equipment is ready to go through tree canopy.
First, Canberra aims to strengthen the AFP at the infrastructure level, funding radar stations, coastal defense sites, fuel depots, and training hubs to boost the Philippines' ability to monitor and protect its maritime approaches, especially in the West Philippine Sea. But hardware is not enough, which leads to the second motive, enhancing interoperability. By deepening joint exercises like Balikatan and Exercise Alan, both militaries are training to operate as a single, coordinated force across air, land, sea, cyber, and amphibious missions. Ensuring that in a real crisis, combined forces can respond instantly and seamlessly. The third motive is unmistakable, countering China's expansion. With likely project sites in Palawan and northern Luzon, Australia and the Philippines gain strategic vantage points over China's pressure zones, from the Spratly Islands to the Batanes-Taiwan Strait corridor, creating a tripwire that makes Chinese movements more visible, more contested, and more politically risky. Fourth, Australia gains strategic access without permanent bases, giving it rotational presence, pre-positioned logistics, and early warning reach, extending its defensive perimeter while helping Manila secure key maritime choke points that connect the Pacific and South China Sea. Finally, these projects reinforce a wider mini-lattice of alliances with the US and Japan, forming a multi-layered security web that deters China not through any one country's strength, but through collective, interconnected defense. In short, Australia's initiative strengthens the AFP, synchronizes forces, counters Beijing's influence, expands strategic reach, and locks the Philippines deeper into an emerging Indo-Pacific security network. An alliance architecture built not on speeches, but on concrete, steel, and shared strategic purpose.
What we've done is within the legal framework of the exercise, and we have not done any wrong. We're doing exercise of freedom of navigation. There's nothing wrong with that, I think.
The transformation of the Philippines-Australia partnership is no longer theoretical. It is playing out in the field, at sea, and in the air. The clearest proof was Exercise Alan 2025, the biggest Australian deployment to Southeast Asia since the 1999 East Timor intervention.
Actually observe onto the target that it is firing onto, and then make sure that we can actually attrit that target. So Corporal Scott will first take you to the Corporal Newham will talk you through.
Over 3,600 troops from Australia, the Philippines, the US, and Canada stormed beaches, seized objectives, and executed amphibious assault and airborne insertion drills across Luzon. This wasn't symbolic choreography. It was rehearsed warfighting, practicing the exact missions that would be required if China attempted a blockade, island seizure, or gray zone escalation. For the AFP, this was a glimpse of what true joint operational capability looks like when foreign allies bring airlift, amphibious craft, and command and control technology into the same battle space. In the skies above, the cooperation has been just as tangible. Australian P-8A Poseidon Maritime Patrol aircraft, among the most advanced surveillance platforms in the world, began flying joint reconnaissance missions out of Clark Air Base, sweeping vast sections of the West Philippine Sea with radar, sonobuoys, and optical sensors. For Manila, these flights delivered something priceless: real-time maritime domain awareness, the ability to see not just where Chinese vessels are, but how many, what they are doing, and where they are headed. Beijing immediately protested, calling the flights provocative interference, which only underscored how strategically sensitive and effective these missions were. Meanwhile, on land, the cooperation drilled down to the granular level of coastal defense and counter-landing tactics. During exercise Kasanga in Capiz, Philippine and Australian ground forces trained on scenarios that mirrored China's real-world behavior: swarming vessels, sudden amphibious incursions, and shoreline harassment. The exercises focused on rapid coastal denial, joint fire coordination, and interoperable communications. Exactly the skills needed to defend remote islands, beachheads, and strategic choke points in the Philippine archipelago. These activities show one undeniable truth. The alliance is no longer built on press releases and courtesy visits, but on muscle memory, integrated doctrine, and shared risk. The Philippines and Australia are not just planning for a contested Indo-Pacific. They are already training and operating as if it has begun. Although the official list remains classified, the Philippines' Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, CADC, makes it possible to identify likely candidates with high confidence. At the top of the list is Palawan, the Philippines' maritime frontline. Facing directly toward the Spratly Islands, Palawan is the closest landmass to multiple Chinese outposts, including Mischief Reef, Fiery Cross, and Subi Reef. This makes it the ideal location for long-range radar systems, coastal missile batteries, drone operations, and rapid naval deployment hubs. Any aggression in the West Philippine Sea is more easily detected and responded to from Palawan, allowing the AFP to contest the gray zone before escalation reaches Ayungin Shoal or Pag-asa Island. In northern Luzon, the strategic priority is clear: watch the Northern Gateway. This region overlooks the Bashi Channel and the Taiwan Strait, maritime choke points where Chinese warships and submarines funnel in and out of the Pacific. A site here would support air defense, early warning networks, and combined intelligence with allies, while giving Australia and the Philippines a vantage point over one of the most sensitive flashpoints in the Indo-Pacific. Should tensions spike over Taiwan, a northern Luzon hub would serve as a forward surveillance and logistics anchor, enabling rapid allied coordination. The Zamboanga Peninsula offers an entirely different but equally vital function. Controlling the Sulu and Celebes seas is essential not only for external defense, but also for counterterrorism and anti-piracy operations. This site would help tighten maritime choke points historically exploited by militants and transnational smugglers. By reinforcing Zamboanga as a southern security node, the Philippines and Australia can secure sea lanes that connect Palawan to Mindanao and onward to Indonesia and Malaysia, creating a safer maritime belt while freeing up naval assets for West Philippine Sea missions. Clark Air Base in central Luzon is the likely logistics and air mobility hub of the network. With its long runways, access to major highways, and established support infrastructure, Clark can act as the central staging point for resupply, refueling, humanitarian operations, and rapid troop movement. For Australia, Clark offers a dependable platform for P-8 Poseidon maritime patrols and interoperability drills. For the AFP, it becomes the backbone of sustained, multi-domain operations that require stable logistics, not just frontline outposts. Meanwhile, Fort Magsaysay, the largest military reservation in the Philippines, brings the land dimension into the picture. As the premier venue for brigade-level and multinational exercises, it is the natural choice for joint jungle warfare, amphibious preparation, and ground maneuver training. With Australia investing in facilities there, Fort Magsaysay will sharpen the Philippines' ability to integrate Army, Marine, Air, and Naval forces into cohesive joint operations, a must for archipelagic warfare. Five zones create a north-to-south defensive spine, shifting the AFP away from its old land-centric posture and toward a true archipelagic shield capable of responding to threats from multiple directions. This grid of bases, sensors, and logistics hubs doesn't just protect territory, it changes the geometry of Philippine defense, ensuring that the nation can see farther, react faster, and deter stronger across every maritime corridor that matters. For the Philippines, Australia's military projects deliver more than concrete and runways. They bring technology transfers, interoperable systems, and training that immediately raise the AFP's readiness and resilience. Instead of reacting to Chinese coercion with diplomatic protests alone, Manila gains the tools for deterrence through capability. Improved radar coverage, stronger coastal defenses, hardened logistics, and faster joint response options. Crucially, this strengthens the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, CADC, without triggering open confrontation. The message is subtle but firm. The Philippines is arming to defend, not to provoke. For Australia, the strategic payoff is positioning, a forward presence inside the first island chain, without the political baggage of permanent foreign bases. Balancing China from afar is no longer viable. Canberra now sees the Philippines as a frontline partner and early warning buffer. With rotational access to Philippine sites, Australia extends its operational reach into key choke points near the South China Sea, Bashi Channel, and Sulu-Celebes Sea Corridor. This strengthens Australia's defense posture, supports AUKUS aligned objectives, and deepens coordination with the US and Japan, all while preserving its diplomatic narrative as a stabilizing, not occupying power. For China, the development is treated as an unmistakable signal of tightening strategic encirclement. Beijing views the growing web of military cooperation, US EDCA sites, Japanese defense pacts, Australian joint projects, as components of a containment architecture designed to limit its maritime freedom of action. Expect Beijing to respond with harsher rhetoric, more gray zone harassment, and stepped-up patrols to show it cannot be intimidated. The irony is clear. The more aggressive China becomes, the more it validates the very alliances it seeks to undermine, accelerating the defensive coalition forming around its periphery. For ASEAN, the Philippines-Australia expansion highlights a subtle but historic shift. While ASEAN has long preferred diplomatic neutrality and economic focus, the region is now slowly pivoting towards security realism. Southeast Asian states are learning that economic dependence on China does not guarantee safety, and that deterrence, partnerships, and shared defense capacity are becoming necessary tools to prevent domination by any single power. Manila and Canberra may not speak for ASEAN, but their cooperation is redefining the region's strategic culture. Less silence, more sovereignty. These secret sites may remain unpublicized, but their significance is unmistakable. Australia and the Philippines are no longer quiet partners on the sidelines. They are co-architects of a regional security framework built on shared interests, shared risks, and shared resolve. As tensions in the Indo-Pacific continue to rise, this partnership is redrawing the strategic map. Not with speeches, but with airstrips, radars, depots, and joint command capability. One project at a time, a new defense order is being built, quietly, steadily, and deliberately. If you liked the video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for deep analysis of contemporary issues.